Alright, like I said, we're going to go over rear differential inspection and changing that rear diff fluid, and I'll give you a few tips and what you need to look out for. A lot of folks wonder what gear ratio they have. Well, Jeep was pretty nice about that. They put a tag on every axle, and if you have the factory gear ratio, they haven't been modified, then the gears are going to be posted right here on this tag. I'll show you how. All you got to do is get underneath there. Probably going to have to scrape some oil and junk out of the way, but you can see how this one says 354. That's the axle ratio. It's a 354, and if you can't read the 354, you can see this 4613 right here. That's the number of ring teeth and the number of pinion teeth. So if you divide the 13 into the 46, that'll also give you your axle ratio. They do the same thing for the front, all Dana 30s. The tag goes in between two bolts on the differential cover, and it's pretty nice. First thing you do when you go to change oil on your differential, of course, is remove the differential cover. The bolts are only in there about 20-25 pounds, and that's how much they need to go back in. There's not too many things that suck worse than busting a bolt off inside of a differential. They're kind of a bear to get out. So that's something to keep in mind. It's 20 to 25 foot-pounds for almost every axle I've ever worked on in a Jeep. First thing you do is remove the cover, let the oil drain, let it go out of there for a while. While you're waiting, go ahead and take your front cover, as I did here, and go ahead and get it ready. You don't need to go out and buy an expensive-ass gasket. Really, all you need is some RTV silicone. As you can see, I went ahead and I cleaned the outer edges, cleaned the inside. The plug on most of these is magnetic, so if you see shavings or pieces of metal stuck to it, that's a fair warning right there. RTV, you only need an 1/8 bead of RTV, pretty close to the center of the cover. What I do is I run a circle around each hole and then connect the holes. Not that much to it. That's really all you need. A lot of folks prefer different kinds of silicone. I'll use just plain old Permatex black, oil resistant high temp. So go ahead and get that put on there, because with RTV, you want it to skin up a little bit before you push it on. So it's going to take you about a half hour or so to clean out the differential. Go ahead and do this first. And then, like I said, we're going to move on to the differential. I'll show you a couple things. A couple things you're going to need. You're going to need some shop towels, a stab light, some kind of creeper or cardboard to crawl around on. And, oh, bear with me here. Getting old. Okay. So you take your towels, and really all you're looking for in here, let me get a light hooked up for you. All you're looking for in here is to make sure that the teeth on the ring are on the spider gears are in good shape. Like I said, bear with me here. Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, with the rear differential cover off, you can see the ring gear. What you're looking for on the ring gear is you want to have a pattern that covers most of the ring itself. It goes from side to side. Go ahead and feel it. If you feel really, really sharp edges, I mean like sharp enough to cut, they're going to be slightly sharp, but you're looking for beyond sharpened edges. That's an indication that your ring is, your pinion's probably loose. That's fairly common. This one, like I said, we've got a really nice pattern front to back. The coast side looks good. The drive side looks really good also. So I'm not going to do anything here. The other thing you need to look for is any spalling. Spalling is where it looks like little bits of rust or anything like that. I see some slight spalling here, and what that usually is water contamination. Differentials get hot and cold, and they tend to build up water inside if the vent lines are clogged or if they aren't hooked up correctly. So you want to make sure those vent lines go above as far as you can, and make sure that the oil gets changed. Oh, I change mine about once a year. It's not really that hard. One thing is, this stuff is stinky. If you want to impress chicks over the next week or so, you probably want to wear some nitrile rubber gloves. You don't really want this stuff on your hands. I've got all the women I ever need, though, so I don't have to worry about it. Same thing you checked with on the ring gear. You want to check on these spider gears. The spider gears are going to have the same problems. What these allow is differential action from side to side. They let the tires slip and grip. So really all you're looking for, like I said, is sharp edges and spalling. And then once you've made an initial check and everything still looks good and everything's tight, this differential doesn't really have any looseness or rock to it, so that's a good thing. If you need to spin it, just reach over and spin a tire, and that'll go ahead and spin those spider gears. To spin the ring, you're going to have a friend so you can spin both tires. But usually what's going on one side of the ring and pinion is going on the other. Next thing you do, like I said, I opened this up quite a while ago. Go ahead and take your towels. Lint-free is the best thing here. And then just make a few quick passes through the bottom. What you're looking for is foreign material or metal shavings. Not really seeing any of that here. It's been a while since this differential's seen any attention, but at least it was never under any large stress. As you can tell, there's a little bit of rust around the edges, but that's not too bad. One thing before you put the cover back on, though, you definitely want to have this mating surface clean as you can get. Pull all the little pieces of silicone or gasket, get it right on down to bare metal. You really want that silicone to have a chance to seal up, and if there's anything loose or foreign underneath it, it's not going to do it. So really, that's all there is to differential inspection. If you want, you can go ahead and get out a torque wrench and check your torque rating on the main cap bolts. But they hardly ever come loose. Like I said, the biggest problems you have here is water invasion and your front pinion seal coming loose. No voodoo going on. And then once you place the cover back on, then you go ahead and fill them up with oil. Normally, I use Mobil 1, but on a rig this old, like I said, it's got 288,000 miles on it, so I'm not going to switch to synthetic because that's just going to give everything a chance to leak. So I'm just going to go back with just a regular conventional oil, 80-90 weight, and it's usually about 2 quarts no matter what axle you're looking at. So make sure you have a couple quarts on hand. When you go ahead and fill it up, pull the fill plug. It's going to take a quart without doing anything. Get that second quart ready and squeeze it in as fast as you can. Once it starts to puke out at you, throw the plug back in at it. You're supposed to be able to reach in with your finger, and no. Just fill it till it starts to puke, and then you're done. When it comes to cleaning the edges, really helps to have one of these. You're only 25 bucks in the hole. I use this for almost all of my gasket mating areas. You can pick them up at most auto body stores. If you don't have that, a lot of folks have a bench grinder or a 4-inch grinder, and they've got a wire wheel on them. These work just fine also. So realistically, all you need to do is get your RTV on, give it a chance to set. You don't want to put it on there nice and juicy. Remember that when that goes back on, your mating surfaces are really clean, and then go ahead and tighten your bolts down to 20 to 25 foot-pounds. And then my honest opinion is to leave it alone for a few hours. Let that RTV have a chance to set up, then go ahead and fill it, and then I usually wait until the next day. I like to do these things at night. Then the next day I'll go ahead and take them for a test drive. So that's really all there is to it. Like I said, the things you're looking for: sharp edges, foreign material, metal shavings, spalling. Those are the 4 main issues that you'll run into. And then your pinion yoke. But you'll be able to tell if your pinion yoke is loose by just by the way you drive. If you let off the throttle and there's a long coast in between acceleration and deacceleration, you feel a clunk, chances are really good that your pinion is loose. And if you have to pull your pinion bearing on a Dana 35, you have a crush sleeve. That's something to remember. You're probably going to be looking at getting a new crush sleeve. You're going to need a 1/2-inch impact hammer, and it's fairly involved. So if you have a loose pinion yoke on a Dana 35, I highly recommend dropping it off at a shop. On a Dana 44 or a Chrysler 8 3/4, they're a little bit easier to deal with. They have crush sleeves also, but they're not gunned on nearly as hard, and they're not as picky. So if you're going to go ahead and do that, go ahead and throw a new seal in there, and you're good to go. Front differential works almost exactly the same as the rear. Looking for the same issues, same problems. Realistically, they're non-issues today. That's a good thing. And if you keep your maintenance up on them, they usually run just about forever. It's going to be one of the last items that you wear out on your vehicle. So until next time.